You're working hard, more hours than most people around you, more effort, more hustle, and somehow, at the end of every month, there's still not enough. The account is thin, the stress is heavy. The gap between where you are and where you need to be isn't closing. You're busy, and you're broke, and you can't figure out why one isn't fixing the other. Here's the problem nobody wants to say out loud. Busy is not the same as productive, and income is not the same as wealth. Most men are running hard, in the wrong direction, and until they understand why, nothing changes. This video is about what's actually going wrong, and how to fix it. Busyness is not the same as productivity. Most men know this in theory. Almost none of them live like they do. Here's what's actually happening. You are working hard, inside a system that was never designed to make you wealthy. You are trading time for money at a fixed rate, and no matter how many hours you add, the math never changes. More hours, same rate, same result. The men who break out of this don't work harder inside the system. They build a different system entirely. But here's the deeper problem. Busyness feels like progress. It feels responsible. It feels like you're doing the right thing, so you stay busy and you call it discipline, when what you're actually doing is avoiding the harder question. The harder question is this: am I busy doing the right things? Not just things, the right things. Most men are busy doing what's comfortable, what's familiar, and what pays just enough to keep them from making a change. That's not a grind. That's a trap. And the trap is designed to feel like freedom. Here's how you know you're in it. If every week looks roughly the same effort, same stress, same result at the end of the month, you're not grinding towards something. You're running in place. The scenery changes slightly, but the destination never gets closer. The men who break out of broke and busy don't work harder. They work differently. They stop asking how to get more hours out of the day and start asking how to build something that produces without requiring them to be present for every dollar. That shift from trading hours to building systems is the entire game. Most men have no idea where their time goes. They feel busy, but they've never actually measured it. For 1 week, write down every hour. Work, phone, commute, entertainment, sleep, everything. What you'll find will be uncomfortable. The average man spends 4 to 6 hours a day consuming content he didn't choose and didn't need. Social media, YouTube, TV, conversations that go nowhere. That's 28 to 42 hours a week. That's a part-time job, paid in distraction. Think about what 28 reclaimed hours a week could build in a year. A skill, a side income, a business foundation, a body, a prayer life. Any one of those things, pursued consistently with those reclaimed hours, would transform a man's life inside of 12 months. But instead, those hours are being handed over, not stolen, handed over willingly, in exchange for content that produces nothing, builds nothing, and leaves nothing behind. The men who build wealth don't find extra time. They reclaim it. They look at the audit and make brutal cuts, and redirect those hours towards something that compounds. You don't need more time. You need to stop bleeding the time you already have. Do the audit. 1 week, every hour. then make the cuts, and redirect ruthlessly. This is the fundamental shift. As long as your income is directly tied to your hours, you have a ceiling. Your body only has so many hours. Your rate only goes so high. The ceiling is real and it is low. And here's what most men never say out loud. A ceiling on your income is a ceiling on your freedom, on your family's security, on your ability to be generous, on your ability to do what God is calling you to do without being trapped by financial pressure. The men who escape broke and busy start building income that doesn't require their presence. A skill turned into a product, knowledge turned into content, a service turned into a system. This doesn't happen overnight. It takes months, sometimes years. But every hour you spend building something that scales is worth 10 hours spent trading time for money. Here's the practical version. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. You don't need a fully formed business plan. You need one thing, one skill, one area of knowledge, one service that you can begin packaging this week. Not perfectly, not completely. Just begin. 1 hour a day. Before the job, after the kids are in bed, in the margin that currently goes to distraction. That 1 hour, redirected consistently, is how the ceiling breaks. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. You need to start building the thing that eventually makes your job optional. 1 hour a day. Redirected. That's how it starts. Here's the one nobody wants to hear. Most broke and busy men are spending money at the rate of the life they want, not the life they have. The car payment, the rent that stretched the budget, the subscriptions, the going out, the image. Every dollar spent maintaining an appearance is a dollar that could be building an asset. Here's what that actually looks like over time. A man spending $800 a month on lifestyle inflation, the nicer apartment, the car note, the going out, is spending $9,600 a year performing wealth he doesn't have. Over 5 years, that's nearly $50,000. Not invested, not building, gone, in exchange for an image that nobody is keeping score of anyway. The men who quietly build wealth live below their means, not because they're cheap, but because they understand that every dollar saved is a dollar deployed towards something that grows, toward something that produces, toward freedom, real freedom, not the appearance of it. There is a version of your life where the car is nicer, the home is bigger, the margin is wide. But that version is built, not borrowed, earned, not performed. Earn the life first, then live it. Money is not just a financial issue. For a man of faith, it is a spiritual one. The way you handle your finances is a direct reflection of your relationship with God. Not because wealth is holiness, but because stewardship is obedience. The Catholic tradition is clear on this. The parable of the talents is not a metaphor. It is a standard. The man who buried his talent out of fear, out of comfort, out of passivity, was not praised. He was judged. You have been given resources, time, energy, skills, money. These are not yours to consume. They are yours to steward, to multiply, to deploy in ways that produce fruit. A man who understands this stops treating his finances as a personal matter and starts treating them as a sacred responsibility. He budgets not just to save money, but because he understands that every dollar is entrusted to him for a purpose. He builds income not just for himself, but because a man with margin can be generous, can serve, can give, can build something that outlasts him. Bring your budget to prayer. Ask God to show you where you're being a poor steward. Ask for the wisdom to build well and the discipline to execute. Because the goal was never just to stop being broke and busy. The goal is to become the kind of man whose resources serve something greater than himself. That is what wealth is for. You're not broke and busy because you're lazy. You're broke and busy because you're working hard inside the wrong system, spending time on things that don't compound, and spending money on a life you haven't built yet. And nobody told you that those two things together create a trap that feels exactly like discipline, exactly like responsibility, exactly like doing the right thing. But now you know. Audit your hours. Separate your income from your time. Stop funding the image, and bring your finances into alignment with what you actually believe about stewardship and purpose. Do those 4 things consistently, and busy stops being a trap. It becomes a launchpad